Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about my personal program moving from the end of January 2022 into February 2022. We made a bunch of videos about this before. Our previous program was an ABC program. Our new program is an ABCD program. Originally, we had a two-handed long cycle, which was 10 reps per minute, 1 minute on, 1 minute off. It was originally 10 total sets, which took 20 total minutes. We have modded that after we had a decision point. I tweaked my hamstring a couple weeks ago. So when you tweak your hamstring or you tweak yourself in general, you have an option. You can either rest or you can drop weight and start the cycle over again so that you're doing an active recovery. I choose the active recovery very much. So we were at, I think, double 20s on our long cycle. I'm not great at long cycle, admittedly. That's why we're working on it. And we dropped weight back to double 12Ks and we just bumped up our volume. We went from 10 total sets to 15 total sets. That makes it 150 total reps in 30 minutes. And we are just going to walk our way back up. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right now I'm at double 17s. Last time I had my hamstring tweak at double 20s, so we might consider doing a half K jump on each kettlebell. We are using Kettlebell King's competition adjustable kettlebells, so we can do all the minor jumps in the middle. That makes the program really, really easy. If you're using conventional weights, this idea does not work at all. You have to do much fancier math to figure out how to get around it. Because we have equipment that can microload, we can just work on going straight up. Our B program was 20 minutes of snatches at 21 reps per minute. After our decision point, when I tweaked my hamstring, we decided to drop weight all the way back down to the lightest weight I have available, 12K, and start over. And we decided we would go to 30 minutes and make it a full half marathon or 630 reps at 21 reps per minute. So it's 1 minute left hand, 1 minute right hand, 1 minute left hand, 1 minute right hand. Do not put the weight down for 30 total minutes. Do not break rhythm. 21 reps per minute done on a metronome. We started down at the 12K. We did 13K, 14K, and then we started adding in the half kilogram weight. So we did 14 and a half. The next workout will be 15K. The goal for this workout is 30 minutes of snatches at 21 reps per minute at 24 kilograms. It's 3 times what the Secret Service snatch test, the classic kettlebell test, is. No reason to really do this idea other than we have the time to do it because of COVID and continuing lockdowns around the world and things just generally not returning to normal. We have time to work on programs like this, so we're going to. It's a bit unreasonable, but I know people do it. My friend works on programs like this all the time. He's a marathon kettlebell guy, so I know it's not absolutely insane. It's just insane for me because I've always pushed for heavier weights in shorter periods of time, and this is the first time I'm really focusing in the last 2 years on lighter weights, but substantially longer periods of time, working on much longer sections of endurance and training. Our C program was our two-handed mill squat program, heavy club program from Strong and Fit. We ran that program up into the 60-pound range, but I don't have any weights heavier than 60. So I did the program, I tracked my numbers. When my change dropped to 0, my total work capacity for the day dropped down into 0% plus or minus, just a little bit of variance. We dropped the program for now. We are going to come back to that program because that's one of my favorite programs and it is a touchstone program. And I am waiting on a specific piece of equipment to do that. So 8X, really pronounced ADX, is going to make me and send me the oversized super heavy weight sleeve, which is going to allow us to push our club up into the 80 plus pound range. We just got some new handles from them, which are a bit thicker, and I think that the whole idea is going to work way better. So we're holding that two-hand mill squat program in reserve for when I get the new piece of equipment. Obviously, there are delays in manufacturing and everything else right now, and that is not a piece of equipment that they currently offer. It is something that is still in the test phase. I believe there's only 3 of those weight sleeves out in the wild right now, and they are going to make me one so that I can test this program. I know that this program will hold up into about the 80 or 90 pound range if done correctly with small enough jumps. 8X is the first time that that program is actually viable to do that way. So we are replacing that program right now with 2 other things. We're doing a ring muscle up program. It is an assisted ring muscle up program where we have counterweights. We had a video a couple weeks ago opening the Gymnastic Forza assisted ring muscle up system. That's what we're using. We were trying to use it out here, but it's about 4 degrees out here right now, and just not wearing gloves is really hard for a long period of time. So we put it down in the basement of the house, but it's much shorter. So I'm actually starting from an L sit position on the ground and working on my muscle ups. And that is a volume cycle. So I am using counterweights to make my body lighter because I have not done muscle ups in years because of COVID and my lack of gym access. So this is not our final goal. Our final goal is to use this to prepare ourselves to get back for aerial circus training sometime this year. But we are going to prepare by doing a pulling movement. The idea with the muscle up is that it's going to be a volume cycle. We started with 10 sets of 5, 50 total reps, every 3 minutes on 3 minutes. So it's a 3-minute round that repeats. So 3 minutes times 10 rounds is 30 total minutes. You do 5 reps and then you basically sit around the rest of the time. You turn it into pure strength training because muscle ups have a lot of weird movement in the shoulder. And if you haven't been doing them for a long period of time or subjecting your shoulder to that type of load, then you would like to make sure that you start in such a way that you're not going to trash your shoulders, because you can trash your shoulders accidentally trying to do ballistic muscle ups too fast, too quick, just like you can with dips, just like you can with pull-ups. Side note, a muscle up is kind of the opposite of a 2-handed long cycle. So they are separated on far different days here, but they are kind of exactly the opposite of each other. So we do the muscle up section first, volume cycle. And then after that, we do our chest press, which is just a filler exercise right now. The chest press is just there, as we had talked about in a previous video, to help burn calories for holiday stuff so we can eat more of the family's cooking. I have a pair of 70-pound dumbbells from Living Fit and a pair of 80-pound dumbbells from Living Fit because that's what I could get my hands on. And the volume cycle for chest press is same idea. It's every 2.5 minutes on every 2.5 minutes. So it's a 2.5 minute round repeating. We were up to 10 sets, but now we're just going to walk it up to 20 sets because we have time on our hands. The double 70s are running at, I think, 12 sets of 10 right now, and the double 80s are running at 12 sets of 8 right now. Once again, this whole day is kind of a rebuilding our chest movement day. And we now have a D program inserted in here because I'm testing out a new piece of equipment from 8X AdX. They sent me a new mace handle that is much thicker, which I like a lot more. And I'm running a program with double kettlebell front squats because that's what I have available, and with the 360s. I could just run the 360 program, but why not run a squat program too? It means I get to eat more of my family's cooking. The numbers on these will not change. For this, the weight will go up. So the squat is 10 sets of 10. So this, on our squat and 360 program, it's every 2.5 minutes on 2.5 minutes. I was doing every 3 minutes, but I'm just not pushing that much weight, so I don't need that much recovery. I have my 8X mace filled up with almost all the weights that I can find right now. I have it up to about 50 pounds, so I'm doing 10 left, 10 right of the 360. I'm waiting the rest of the time, and then I'm doing a set of squats. Then I go back to 360s, then I do squats. Every 2.5 minutes, I pick up the weights. So I'm waiting for my heart rate to return all the way back down towards 0 because this is essentially pure strength training. This is more like strength training, but this has a pretty hardcore heart effect because it's long cycle, and that's just hard on the heart. This one is pure cardio. 30 minutes nonstop. The pace does not change. This is pure endurance training. This is focusing on pure strength for chest and the muscle up. Do the muscle up first because it's the part that's probably going to kill you. The chest press is easy. It comes last. And then this program has a squat and a 360 in it. So we have overhead pressing, we have snatching, we have chest pressing. This has tons of cleans in it, right? 150 cleans in it, so that's kind of a deadlift pattern. This is also a snatch pattern, which is a hamstring pattern. This day doesn't have hamstrings in it. This day is quad dominant. So lots of hamstrings, arms, overhead press, grip, slaughterhouse, and generally easy. The other thing that I am doing is I am running a 10-minute section of training at the end of every day, 5 days a week. So because I had a hamstring tweak, that is normally when my body starts to twist, something goes different because I have a lot of injuries when I'm trying to do endurance training. So I'm filling 10 minutes at the end of every workout with what I like to think of as a core check-in. It is basically low-level Pilates or isolation exercises where I'm making sure that my core is working equally on both sides. It has different metabolic setups for each day, but we'll talk about that whole thing in another program because there's a huge idea behind that. But that is my core rehab to make sure that everything on either side of my spine is staying in the right spot for this type of training. This is a lot of training. It's not super hard training because none of these things are running at max load. Everything here is endurance, which means that it runs at a much lower overall level of loads so that you can survive for that amount of time. This is really the hard one mentally. 30 minutes of snatches nonstop is the hard one. This one's kind of a classic 1 minute on, 1 minute off. That one is mentally pretty easy. This day is mentally easy. This day is mentally easy. So think medium, hard, mentally easy, physically, that's pretty challenging. The weight on the squat is going to go up. We're building towards our double 32K on the squat for the D program because that's the weights we have. And we'd like to get that 360 up into the 50-pound range and then eventually beyond that as soon as we get that new piece of equipment. There is a lot of stuff happening in this program. It is kind of a chaotic program, but I really like it. I'm trying to do a lot of things at one time. The core has stayed the same, the long cycle of the snatch. This will go back to two-hand club when the weight comes in. And the D program has some fun stuff in it to support the two-handed mill squat program later. Just ramping up those 360s, which is a core movement for any type of weight swinging, and working on that no escape front squat. The kettlebell double front squat is, I think, probably one of the better squats in the world. There's no way out of it. You have to have good alignment. It forces everything on. And if you can ramp this up above 32K for any number of reps, it gets real serious real quick. Most people just don't use it that way because they don't have that availability of kettlebells. With our double competition adjustable kettlebells, we can ramp all the way up to the double 32K, and we're looking for that 10 sets of 10. And then we'll try and figure out how to make those kettlebells heavier and see if we can keep ramping it up. So this has been Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica. Get nerdy with your own training. Write it down. Think about it in depth. Write down all your variables and send me your programs. We have some programs that people have sent me already that I'm going to make some videos on this week. There are some really interesting designs out there, and that's how we learn. We look at our own program. We look at other people's programs. We analyze, we break it down, use multiple colors of pen, get in there and get nerdy. The more you understand what you're doing and why, the more likely you are to do it, the more likely you are to succeed at doing what you want to do.